Every testing time in life arrives with a powerful lesson. Throughout history, humanity has faced many challenges, but every challenge has carried within it an opportunity to learn something meaningful about ourselves and about the world we live in. When difficult times come, they force us to slow down, reflect, and rethink the way we see life and the way we treat one another. Recently, the entire world experienced a global pandemic. For the first time in modern history, people across every continent went through self-isolation and social distancing at the same time. Cities became quiet, people stayed inside their homes, and the world suddenly paused. For many people, this experience felt strange, uncomfortable, and even frightening. But there is something important to understand here. For millions of differently abled people around the world, this experience was not entirely new. Many have lived with forms of isolation for most of their lives. They have experienced social distancing long before the world ever heard those words during a pandemic. Self-isolation is often not a choice. It happens when people feel a lack of acceptance in society. Social distancing happens when the world around us lacks accessibility. When buildings, streets, workplaces, and public spaces are not designed for everyone, they silently push people away and limit their participation in everyday life. Living in an accessible world is not a privilege, it is a basic human right. Yet, many people are still deprived of that right. Accessibility means opportunity. Accessibility means dignity. Accessibility means that every human being has the freedom to move, learn, work, and dream without unnecessary barriers. Perhaps one of the most powerful lessons humanity can learn is that inclusion matters. When the world heals and moves forward, it should do so in a way that leaves no one behind. Progress should not belong to only a few. It should belong to everyone. There is another idea that deserves attention. Many people are familiar with the word disability, or the phrase person with disability. These words have been used for many years, but sometimes language shapes the way we think about people. When the word disability is placed next to someone's abilities, it often creates an unconscious assumption that something is missing or something is less. It can make people focus on limitations instead of possibilities. The truth is that every human being carries abilities that are unique. No two individuals in the world are exactly the same. Some people run fast. Some people create art. Some people build businesses. Some people inspire others with their courage and resilience. Yet society often celebrates sameness. The world sometimes struggles to accept those who are different or unique. When people are labeled only by their physical condition, the conversation shifts away from their talents, their dreams, and their contributions. Changing the narrative requires changing the mindset. The story of a person should never be defined by what they cannot do. It should be defined by what they choose to achieve despite challenges. There have been many examples of individuals who transformed the way the world sees ability. In the beginning, they were often introduced with labels that focused on their limitations, but over time, their work, their dedication, and their achievements changed the way people spoke about them. It does not happen overnight. Changing a narrative can take years. It requires patience, consistency, and belief in a greater purpose. Every step forward becomes a message. Every achievement becomes a reminder that strength is not defined by physical condition but by courage, determination, and vision. There is one quality that plays a crucial role in building a more inclusive world, and that quality is empathy. Empathy is very different from sympathy. Sympathy often assumes that we fully understand another person's pain. But the truth is that every individual's experience is unique. No one can truly measure or compare another person's struggle. Sometimes people say they understand someone's situation because they once faced a similar inconvenience. But temporary discomfort is not the same as living with a lifelong condition. Pain cannot be compared like numbers on a scale. Empathy takes a different approach. Instead of claiming to fully understand someone's pain, an empathetic person simply offers presence, respect, and willingness to listen. Empathy says that even if we cannot feel exactly what another person feels, we can still stand beside them with kindness and openness. An empathetic person does not try to define another person's struggle. They create a safe space where stories can be shared and heard without judgment. In a world that often rushes to offer sympathy, empathy becomes a powerful act of humanity. As we move toward a more inclusive future, it is important to recognize something fundamental. There is no such thing as a person who is defined solely by disability. What truly limits people is not always the condition of the human body. More often, it is the condition of the human mindset. When society fails to recognize the abilities within a person, that is where the real barrier exists. When the world chooses to see limitations instead of potential, that is where opportunity disappears. Every human being has a unique story, a unique strength, and a unique purpose. Some individuals walk their path easily, others travel their journey through obstacles that require extraordinary courage. But sometimes the people who face the greatest challenges become the ones who inspire the greatest change. To those who feel uncomfortable or intimidated when they see someone thriving despite adversity, there is an important message. Inspiration is always a choice. When we see someone overcoming challenges, we can choose to feel threatened or we can choose to feel motivated. Instead of questioning how they did it, we can ask ourselves what we can learn from their resilience. Instead of doubting their strength, we can reflect on our own potential. Every individual carries a spark of magic within them. Growth begins when we believe in that spark. Life offers many opportunities to begin again. It invites us to evolve, to learn, and to transform our limitations into strength. And to all the people who feel different, who feel unique, who sometimes feel misunderstood by the world, remember this truth. You are not defined by labels. You are not defined by assumptions. You are not defined by the limitations that others imagined for you. You are defined by your courage, your dreams, and the way you choose to rise every day. Some people walk through life simply existing. Others walk through life creating meaning and leaving a mark that inspires generations. Those who embrace their uniqueness often become the ones who stand out and illuminate the path for others. If you are one of those individuals who feels different, who refuses to let circumstances dim your spirit, then celebrate that uniqueness. Because the world does not change through ordinary stories. The world changes through people who dare to shine. And when you choose to shine, despite the odds, you become proof that human potential has no limits. Never let the world dim your light.